What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Crew 2, and well, in this video I'll be covering the best vehicle y'all can use in the Rally Raid class for like slaloms, even road slaloms and stuff like that, because I feel like the Rally Raid class is literally in like every summit ever, so I feel like this is a really good thing to cover, and I know a lot of people are wondering what is a good go-to vehicle for these skills that they can run in each summit. So the first vehicle I'm going to choose for this, guys, is the Ram 1500 Rebel TRX Concept. This truck is actually insanely good, and here's the build I'm currently running on it, like my stats and all that. I will also show the main build at the end of the video if you want to see it again. This is what I'm running on this truck here, though, just a quick little glimpse there, and I'll show it at the end of the video again. But guys, this truck is just really good. I've been using this pretty much on every summit recently. I haven't really been running the Ducati, which I'll get to that vehicle in a minute. But this truck is just so good on doing these, and you all notice how the slaloms are pretty much based on speed, and sometimes the bikes I feel like struggle a little bit, is why I also have a truck I can use for them, even though the bikes could be better. But not only that, these vehicles can also be used on the road slaloms as well that you normally could use like an F1 car on, which I have done that before, and it actually works very well, which I may have a video on that in the future. But depending on what it is, these vehicles are the best to use, and it's kind of crazy because the Rally Raid, like off-road like skills, are literally in almost every summit, so this is very important. And for the second vehicle I would choose if I was not using the Ram, guys, is the Ducati Monster 1200S. Now, this isn't much of a shocker because if you have ever done a summit in a Slalom or something like that, you will notice that probably 90% of the people in there with you are driving this bike, mainly because, well, it is insanely good, and that's for good reasoning. So here's the same set I was running previously on it, and here are my settings here, which I'll show at the end of the video if you guys are wanting to try that out. But there's many reasons why a lot of people ride this bike, guys, in this game, because, well, for one, it pretty much does all the slaloms, even the road ones for that matter, really well, and it's kind of crazy to compete with it. But I noticed some of the events that you're doing, there's just too many turns or bumps or weird stuff going on in the races where I feel like this bike might struggle on, and for that, I'd recommend using the Ram because I feel like it can do better, and I've been using that in a lot more events, and it's doing very well and getting pretty much the same score as this bike will. So I feel like I should really try out a car as well with the bike because I feel like having both, you can do different slaloms and stuff like that where you might be able to actually do more of them with these vehicles instead of struggling on some with other vehicles that you might want to try, thinking that some of these might not do the greatest. Anyway, let's go test them out in a couple of slaloms here, and I'll talk about this a little bit more. So jumping right in the Slalom here with the Ram, guys. So this is the race that I picked for this one because this is one of the ones I struggled really hard with the bike on. But this one's really good for the truck here. So I am doing this Slalom here. Now the reason why I would do this with a vehicle, for example, is because they're definitely much easier to turn and you can control the vehicle a little bit better. I know some of the bikes might struggle on races like this, which you probably could use it, but I feel like last time I tried it in the Summit, because this was actually in a Summit a while back, I was struggling pretty hard, I'm not going to lie, and I switched to this truck and I was like, wow, this thing's actually really good. And I have been using this thing ever since on a lot of the slaloms, and I'm pretty much getting the exact same score I would with the bike on these. It's not really much different because you're going the same speed. You can only get such a high score on these in summits. I think it's like 156, 157k. You can't get any higher than that no matter how many points you go after. They did that obviously for good reasoning because, you know, people would probably abuse this a little bit if you could get a ton of points there. So here's the first slalom I'm going to do with the truck here, and look how easy that was completed there. You're getting well over 30,000 points, which is going to be 156k every single time in a summit, which is pretty much going to guarantee you a high score for that, and you don't have to worry about that skill at all. And for the second slalom was also in a summit recently, which is another one that gave me some issues here. I'm using the Ram for this one, which if you guys are wondering, you can back up a little bit and then get a head start on these to get more speed, which can get you more points because the faster you do it will get you more points there. This is one of the ones I was trying to do with the bike that I figured was a lot easier with the truck because of a lot of how the jumps are. Now you could use the bike on this one because if you can aim the bike correctly on the jumps, you'll be just fine. But I noticed right after I did this one with the bike that the Ram also could do it with no issue, so I wanted to show this as well because I feel like this truck deserves a lot of love for these because it actually handles very well, and it doesn't really struggle like some of the other cars do on these. I was having some major issues with some of the other vehicles on some of these Slaloms, and I noticed when I was using this, I was pretty much getting a really good score on a lot of these, and pretty much getting the highest score you can in the summits. And doing that, you won't need to touch these Slaloms ever again for that week at least until, well, when they're in the next week, that is. So as you guys see right here, I completed this right there with about 20 almost 4,000 points there, which is going to be again 155k, which is going to put you well above to pretty much the max where you can get in one of these. There's many reasons why I recommend having a good bike and truck for these guys because I feel like they could both do great on different ones of these, especially in the summits, because I noticed sometimes they struggle on others, and I was using the bike on one a while back and I was like, this is just not going to work. So I figured I'd switch all my parts of the Ram, and surely enough the Ram did it with ease, and I've been using the Ram ever since with a mix of this bike as well. So having a good, type of vehicle in each category here is a great idea. Like good bike, good truck, depending on what slalom you're doing. The bike will definitely be a way better option than the Ram, but sometimes depending on which one it is, like that one in the city, you're probably going to struggle using a bike a little bit, although you could do it, but the bikes just might not turn quick enough, or might struggle a little bit in some areas where the truck won't. Same with the truck struggling where the bike won't. It's just really, really important to notice, and it's been kind of shocking me a little bit. After switching this up a little bit and using different vehicles here, I really have noticed a huge change in points, and pretty much getting the slaloms done so much easier. Almost 25,000 points, which again will be a very, very high score in a summit. And jumping into the second slalom here with the Ducati, guys. So like I said, it's a really good idea to have a vehicle in each class here. So this vehicle mainly can do this one. So this is another one that has a lot of good amount of turns in it, but you can easily fly through them easier with the bike here. I know sometimes the vehicles pretty much can do these as well, but I just feel like the bikes definitely are overlooked a little bit. Like I said, if you ever done a summit before, I've noticed like almost every slalom that's active has about, almost everybody riding the Monster S, which is a good reason. I've also seen a lot of people use it on the road slaloms as well, because apparently this bike does great on those. What also helps with the rally raid is that couple of parts that give you more points. Anyway, guys, definitely check out the Monster S and the Ram there. I'm going to have the settings at the end of the video there. So you guys can have two great vehicles. You guys can run on the slaloms here, which would definitely greatly increase your scores in these summits. Here's the build I'm running on my Ram 1500 Rebel TRX Concept. Thank you all so much for watching the video, and here are my settings on the Ducati Monster 1200S.